If you've played Minecraft, you've probably built a house at least once, except for these guys who said no. Most of us had those nostalgic moments when we decided to make a house entirely out of diamond blocks in creative, or a shack made out of dirt in survival. Honestly, two of the worst building blocks in my opinion. But how would Mojang build a house in Minecraft? Well, today we'll be building a house from one of the sacred texts, the original Minecraft Construction Handbook, not the updated edition, the original one, to see how Mojang would build a house, at least in version 1.7. In addition to the house itself, I'll be constructing the back garden and hedge maze off to the side of the house as seen here, but there'll be a little twist later on to our build that you might find interesting. Also, before we get into the video, if you haven't already, consider dropping a like and hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by June. I need your help. Hope you enjoy the video. The very first thing that I did was to locate a plains biome bordering a swamp, as that's what we can see in the pictures in our book. Although it is unlikely that there would be a ruined portal within render distance in the book, especially in 1.7. The first step was to get our area of land suited for building, because the house, or mansion, you could call it mansion, it's pretty big, and it needs a large amount of area. And this mostly just included covering up caves and water pools and flattening out the terrain a bit. The very front of our house is going to be facing in this direction, and in the back here we're going to have a little garden area, and off to the side by the swamp we're going to have the hedge maze. Well, I finished the basement. I mean, technically it's the first floor, so it's not really a basement, but it looks like a basement. That's what matters. And you may have noticed I had to move it down by one block because I built it on an elevated area that was too small. There's actually some of it left here, I just realized. And that wasn't going to work out because it needs to be on the same elevation as everything else. So I moved it down, and it ended up working out okay. But we need to move on to the next couple floors now. And we're going to finish off the actual house, and then we'll work on the gigantic porch that goes around the outside, which honestly might make up like a third of the total square feet of the house. I mean, maybe meters, but... Here's what the house looks like just by itself, without the giant porch and any of the decorative stuff in the back. And that's actually what we got to work on now, is making the massive porch that goes around most of the outside and the fancy garden in the back. I mean, fancy by 1.7 standards, maybe not by current Minecraft standards. I'm not sure why Mojang had logs underneath all the leaves. Maybe something was different about the game back then that would make the leaves decay or something, but I don't really remember that. Either way, it kind of looks cool, and we have this really old school pool back here, just some sandstone and exposed glowstone, probably benefit from sea lanterns now. And there's a little patio over here with an anvil posing as a grill or barbecue thingy, something like that. And we've even got some visitors to our house that were generous enough to donate 2 leads. So who would have thought that making a maze out of leaves and logs underneath that would take longer than the house? Definitely would have been me, but it did. I think it may have been maybe a minute less, but it felt as long. And we also have a cliff back here because I kind of underestimated how much room the maze would take up. And yeah, you could trap your friends in here, maybe make them run towards the center and just hope they didn't bring the shears or put them in adventure mode instead. There's only one way to actually get into the center of the maze. It's pretty simple. You can just go through there, around the little area, and go back down, and you're in the center. So most of the maze is redundant, but I guess that's kind of what a maze is. It's just mostly redundancies to make it hard. Anyways, you may think we are done because we did everything that we talked about doing in the book, but we are not done. Definitely not. You see, if we go over here to this double chest, these are literally all the materials that we use in building the house, the garden, and the maze. It's not very much for quite a few structures like that. And if we go over here and go inside the house itself, there's literally nothing except for the one zombie that managed to spawn. And we're gonna change that because the book doesn't actually show any interior for the house. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to combine old school Minecraft, in other words the house, with the new modern building styles for the interior. I'm gonna give it a full interior, and we're gonna see what it looks like old school on the outside and modern interior on the inside, and then we'll be complete. The inside is completely finished, and there's absolutely nothing different on the outside, so you're not gonna be able to tell much just by looking at it from out here. But when we go inside, you're gonna be surprised because it is a lot different than before. Even just entering in here, you can see we already have demarcated this bottom floor into lots of different rooms. We've got ourselves a nice carpet. There's one singular hat right here. And straight ahead, there is kind of a little blacksmith room. We've got a perpetually lit blast furnace here. Thanks to a convenient command that allows you to place in a block that's already lit, like it's just gonna burn forever due to the magic of commands. There's a little neat trick here you can do with the lanterns where it makes it look like it's actually attached to a point in the ceiling as opposed to just sitting underneath the wood. And over here there's a bit of a storage room, and the kitchen floor it leaks a little bit. You'll see why in a sec, but storage room here, nothing too fancy. And in this side we have the staircase going up. It's kind of like a little wraparound thing, more of the lantern tricks, and there's a couple flowers back here. As we go up here, we can see we've got a nice hanging lantern, and we've got a pretty spacious living room with a nice sort of glass table. There's also a trick that you can do to make potted plants by having them in a composter filled with compost. Yeah, it actually looks like dirt inside, so it's kind of a clever trick. I don't know if I'm the first one to figure this out. I highly doubt that I am, but it just occurred to me to do here. Over here, there's the kitchen and the dining room, and you can see why the floor is leaking now because of the sink here. And there's a campfire underneath the smoker, constantly making it have smoke particles. It's a fairly common trick, but you can make little like drawer patterns using the back sides of looms. It looks really similar to a drawer, so that's what those are. Inside here we've got a pretty small bedroom. It looks like the snow that's the pillow melted because of the end rod. I did not anticipate that, but it's actually like a bigger bed, not just the literal bed blocks, but kind of a cool trick you can do. Snow layers make it look like a pillow. Kind of an older school bed design, but still looks pretty cool. And going up to the third floor, we have a few rooms up here. Just 2 bedrooms. This is a really small bedroom, kind of like a literally no windows, just a closet almost. And if we go through here, there is a bigger bedroom, and there's a balcony. You can look down over there with a very bright looking carpet. It's another one of these bed designs, although the pillows haven't melted this time, which is a good thing. There's access to the porch from the kitchen, and there's also access to the porch from right here by the staircase to the second floor. So that's pretty much all I did to the inside. It's kind of a lot. There's a lot more building materials in there than what was used probably to build the entire house plus garden plus maze. But yeah, we've got ourselves a nice house according to Mojang, but with my own interior design, which I think works pretty nicely. I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this idea. I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know down in the comments if there are any other builds you'd like me to do according to Mojang, like maybe out of this book. And we could sort of do a similar thing where we made the interior really fancy because it wasn't shown in the book. If you did enjoy, consider dropping a like and hitting that subscribe button. That's going to be all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Sbeev, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.